Welcome to my channel BornToReddit. Am I the a-hole for very rarely / almost never wanting to go to restaurants because my girlfriend makes food that's just as good, if not better, than restaurant food? I've been with my wonderful girlfriend for a few years now, and we usually get along great, aside from this current issue. You can skip to the TLDR if the exposition is too long. She's a self-proclaimed foodie, which I honestly think is just selling herself short. She's a food genius. She can taste and smell a dish and then turn around and recreate it, or even make it better than the original. If you taste something and wonder, what's that super subtle flavor? She'll tell you, it's anchovy paste / sumac / lavender / some other obscure spice that you would never think of. When someone is cooking something and they go, it's missing something, she can tell you exactly what it needs. It doesn't stop there. She knew I had touched a diesel truck at work one morning as soon as I walked into the house that night because she could somehow smell it on me. It's either really cool or really creepy, depending on the day. That's not it, either. She heard about a lost family recipe, and the next week, bam, I'm eating my grandmother's homemade sausage again for the first time in 15 years. It's gotten to the point where I don't see any point in going out to eat, pretty much ever, except maybe her birthday. Even the most exotic ingredients aren't out of her reach, either, and, even though it's not about cost, I've saved up more being with her than I ever had in any other relationship. The only places we really go for date night is ramen. She can't figure out how to make the noodles, but she still tries, so it's just a matter of time, and sushi. Our anniversary was recently, and I had noticed that our local fish counter was selling sushi-grade fish, along with the rolling mats and nori. So I suggested that we have homemade sushi for our anniversary dinner before going out, and she upset and said, I'm not learning how to make sushi because then I'll never get a real date ever again. We ended up going out instead. It kinda took me by surprise that she got so mad though. She's lightly mentioned wanting to go out occasionally to places like Olive Garden because she likes the red sauce, or other places because she likes the food, and now that I'm thinking about it, she's gotten kinda gloomy, because I've asked her to cook on date nights instead of going out more often. She also brought up that food she cooks tastes better to me because she's tasting and smelling it while it cooks, so her senses are dulled by the time it's served, but she has the most acute sense of smell / taste I've ever seen, so I kinda think it's just an excuse. I just don't think it's worth it to go out and pay restaurant food prices when we can stay home for home food prices and have food that's just as excellent. TLDR, so Reddit, am I the asshole for not wanting to pay a restaurant to cook my meals because I practically have a private chef of my very own? Edit. It's not about the financial aspect of staying home vs going out. I just thought that it was worth mentioning because it's been more of a saving than expected. Edit 2, I'm taking her out tonight to grovel, guys. I'm also going to politely ask that, if she finds this off of Twitter, please don't smother me in my sleep for being such a dick. Edit 3, no Twitter, I don't buy her flowers, thanks for rubbing it in. I buy her herbs and succulents. What flowers do I buy a woman who likes to preserve them afterward? Also, yes, I wash the dishes. Good lord, completely you're the a-hole. Read the last line, dude. You said you have your own private chef. Do you think your wife wants to cook every single night for you? Frick no. She makes sacrifices of her time every time she cooks for you, which sounds like a lot, so why can't you sacrifice some of your time to take her out and possibly show her thanks for the things she does for you? Geez man, you're being thick. Maybe that's why she got upset at the thought of never being taken out for dinner again. And I feel like you should bring this up with her directly if it's upsetting you. Maybe tell her you love her cooking more than any restaurant food, and she'll love the sentiment and want to cook more. Or maybe she'll say she needs a break from cooking sometimes. Just talk to her. Am I the a-hole for not apologizing to a high-functioning autistic bully after calling him out? I, 15 male, go to school with a guy I'll call Jake. Jake has high-functioning autism and is also a bully. He won't ever try on someone bigger than him, like me, but he will go after smaller guys, and seems to really like to go after the girls. He will always say he didn't understand what he said was inappropriate, and he is never held accountable by the teachers. So on Monday he was really harping on a girl I'll call Lori. I've known Lori since I was 6, and I can say she is quiet, and keeps to herself because she's so self-conscious, because when she was little she was involved in a fire and got badly burned. He wouldn't stop telling her how ugly she was and how she'd never get a boyfriend because no one wanted to be around something like that. She said he was being cruel, but he still wouldn't stop. Lori started crying, and our teacher tried to say he probably just didn't understand what he did, and I blew up. I said it was ridiculous that everyone kept giving him a pass to bully people because they're afraid of upsetting the autistic kid. Well, I wasn't, and there was no way he didn't know it was inappropriate to call her ugly and continue insulting her even after she told him he was being cruel. He's a bully, him having autism doesn't make him any less of one, and it was ridiculous to expect others to just get bullied to spare his feelings. The teacher gave us both detention and Jake is trying to play the victim, but I made it clear he was just a bully, and I have no tolerance for bullies. The rest of the week, no one would talk to him or associate with him, and now he's blaming me for ruining his life. His mom called my mom yesterday and asked me to apologize. I won't, and now she's upset and says I'm bullying her kid. My mom says to do what I feel is best, but my grandmother thinks it was a whole move to call him out in front of everyone, and I should be the bigger person and apologize. Am I the a-hole for not apologizing? TLDR, high-functioning autistic kid bullies other and made a girl I know cry. I called him out and refused to apologize for it. Not the a-hole seconded by another adult diagnosed with high-functioning autism. I'm terrible with social cues or facial expressions. Part of my diagnosis is mild prosopagnosia or face blindness. But you know what is blatantly obvious, even to me? Crying. If I said something that made someone cry, it would be very clear to me that I fucked up. Social cues are hard for us because of the lack of clear rules. However, when it comes to commenting on others' appearance, I was taught one as a young girl. The 10-second rule. If the person cannot fix it in under 10 seconds, do not comment on it. A bit of ketchup by their mouth? Button undone? Yep, you can say something, but politely and only to them. A change in weight? A scar? Hair loss? Nope, leave that alone. Autism is not a free pass to be inconsiderate. It is hard, but if people are trying to work with our differences, we should be trying to meet them halfway. Not being an ass because you think you can get away with it. Am I the a-hole for kicking a friend out of my house for what she said? Earlier today I had two friends over to watch a game and catch up as social distancing rules eased up a bit in my area. We're all women in our early 30s. One friend, let's call her A, has had a very tough couple of years. She lost her husband last year, he was on deployment when he passed away, and tragedy struck again when her 6-year-old son passed away from cancer a few months ago. Needless to say, she was and still is devastated, and this was the first time she felt like hanging out since the loss of her son. My other friend, let's call her B, is very traditional and religious, while friend A and myself are not religious at all, but our differing views have never been an issue, and we've gotten along just fine with friend B since we met her 4 to 5 years ago. Friend B has brought up what she believes are the benefits of religion to us a few times in the past, but always dropped the subject when we weren't responsive to it. Neither friend A or I ever held any ill feelings towards her about this as she wasn't too pushy with her beliefs. On to the situation that took place today. We were listening to friend A pour her heart out and doing our best to console her while being a shoulder to cry on. Friend A, through tears, said I don't know what I did wrong in my life to deserve to lose her husband and son. Instantly, friend B exclaimed, well, I can tell you that. You didn't allow God and the Bible into your life, so God punished you for it. Can you blame him? Friend A just looked at her in awe. I lost it. I yelled at her that what she said was totally uncalled for and unbelievably hurtful. Then I got up, opened the front door and told her to get the hell out of my house and never contact me again. She tried to backtrack and say that she wasn't trying to be hurtful, but I wasn't having any of it. I yelled again, just get out of my house right now. Don't make me throw you out like a piece of trash. She huffed and left. Friend A was bawling at this point, but said thank you. We continued talking, and she calmed down after a while. Looking back now, I realized that I possibly could have handled the situation better. Both friend A and I never thought friend B would say something like that. Maybe I overreacted, I don't know. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. I'm just impressed at your restraint. I would have tossed B out the window. Thank you. I won't lie, the thought crossed my mind. If you had to vote for the most a-hole story from all three in this video to be president of a-holes, which one would you choose and why? And don't forget, subscribe or I'll insert tiny little pieces of shattered glass directly into your pee hole.